Let's put the spotlight on the biofuel industry.
Yeah.
How do you think the landscape in the biofuel industry, specifically CBG, has changed in the last 5 years?
Well, as we all know, it has changed, like in a massive way for good, right? There was no industry for that matter, right? A couple of years back. Today, it's always in the news and all, as you all know,
Always.
right? So yeah, I mean, I think it's at the inflection point, as you also know, it came maybe year to 2 years back and all, and many of us have been recipients, have benefited from that. The many of us have grown with the sector. So I think as we all know, yeah, the sector has changed. I think what was obviously the right policies and all, some of the iterations that happened around Satat, etc. More importantly, the entry of big players in the in the industry, that played a big role. Larger companies such as Reliance, Adani, they have come in, as we all know. On the other side, oil marketing companies, now they are forming GVs and all, as you know, like we have been fortunate to form a joint venture with IOCL now.
Congratulations for
So
that.
thank you. Yeah. So some of these things were unthinkable. Maybe the bigger companies coming to the sector was probably still thinkable, but a startup forming a JV with a giant like ISL was probably unthinkable. So I think so great things have happened. The sector has changed completely, and there's more to come, right? I mean, many other such JVs are going to be formed, and also so I think it's just the start of a very important page in this whole industry.
Interesting. And like you mentioned that currently we are sitting at a time when probably in 2008 what solar industry was, maybe the CBG industry is right now, and we all know how solar industry progressed. Same expectations are there from the CBG industry. Having said that, if we don't talk about the rosy part of the industry, if we want to touch on the not so good part of the industry, what do you think are the not so good parts of this industry if you have to speak of just one of them?
Just one of them. I would say
Yes.
there are quite a few of them.
Start with one, the biggest one.
Biggest challenge in the not so rosy part is the ecosystem that is required to deliver what has been envisioned and all, what everybody expects, that still does not exist today, right? What I mean by that is, I mean the entire ecosystem of supplies, right, from equipment suppliers to, so to say, the technology side, there are room for improvements and all, right? Lot of things have been established, but many more things are to be done and all. I mean, at the end of the day, it is not a very complicated thing that we are talking about. Just that in India, where there is a very small subsidy, it's all market driven and all. The projects have to stand on their feet, right? ROI is purely based on sale of CBG and FOM and other products, right? So there, the projects have to be executed at the right capex. At the same time, they have to run like clockwork too, right? And for that requires perfect equipments on every front, right, from feeding to right down to the SLS system, the solid liquid separation system, upgradation systems and all. So does that entire ecosystem exist today? The answer is no. But we can see that evolving. I think it's a matter of time before that gets solved. But as on date, are there some gaps there? Answer is yes.
Interesting. And I think, like you rightly mentioned, that whenever something gets started, there's a lot of excitement around it.
Yeah.
A lot of people jump into it.
Yeah.
And then the wrong ones jump into it.
Yeah.
And the industry starts to collapse. And the reason I say that, because we have seen that happening in the biodiesel industry. So my father started a biodiesel organization, and we saw that there was a huge hype. A lot of wrong people came, and because of which the industry could not evolve ever.
Yeah.
Contrary to what ethanol is and what expectations from CBG
In fact,
are.
the second factor would have been, let's say there are multiple, issues there. The second are, I would say, as fly-by-night operators. But I would say, still, if there are few success stories that can undo the impact of fly-by-night operators.
Correct.
But and that's so to me as a optimist, I think that ecosystem is more important, and at the same time, I'm confident that it's a matter of time. As we discussed, Indore, we had seen that journey. Today, the whole question is around paddy straw, as you all know, right? Today, I mean, right from equipments to the desired yields, are we there yet? The answer is no. But having said that, if you look at the fundamental sciences and all, many of us, not just us, our competitors, I mean, we have, put in a lot, our entire, so to say, our entire company, our future is built on that. It is not based on just, like, how to put it, I mean, it is based on some fundamental assumptions, which is backed by some, scientific data or some other past experiences, some experiences from elsewhere and all. So like, we feel that, I feel that, it's a matter of time before that gets addressed. But today, are we there? The answer is no.